What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, an authentic football fan channel made in Manchester. CASEMIRO to Galatasaray. Utter nonsense, innit? Absolute nonsense. And I'm going to explain why it's utter crap coming from Rob Dawson out of ESPN. Some news floating about, and there's been a couple of other journalists who have touched on it as well, and outlets. We'll definitely talk about that. I want to talk about tactics and formations, how we could potentially patch some stuff up when we get back, when we have that run in against Southampton, Palace, FC20, and Barnsley, I think it is, within the 5 games when we come back. Sorry. A little update on Luke Shaw's injury as well. We've had maybe a minor setback, which I'll touch on, and also Erik ten Hag going mad. Some articles coming out from The Athletic on him, and I just want to discuss him in general, you know, where his head's at in a minute, what the future is for United, and how you guys feel about him. So, yeah, going to be a quick show today, probably about 10-15 minutes due to exterior circumstances. I mean, I could literally get a phone call and have to go straight away. So, I'm just going to do a show. If I get a phone call, I'm going to warn you now, whether you're watching this live or watching this later on, at any moment, that once that phone call comes, I am gone. So, yeah, let's just see how it goes. Hopefully, we get through the news and stuff, but it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. So, let me know how you all are in the chat. Lovely to see so many of you already, as always, supporting the channel, getting your opinions in. I'll get to those very, very shortly. But let's just debunk this CASEMIRO myth. So we had a report coming out from Rob Dawson saying Galatasaray are considering a move for CASEMIRO. United would consider a deal if the right offer was made, but a loan agreement is likely to hinge on whether United are willing to continue covering a part of his salary. Now, look. This deal, if it was in the summer, so there's 2 things wrong with this deal, in my opinion. The timing of it, and also the price, what they're saying, basically. So, you know, people can glorify this and say, you know, they can look at CASEMIRO's performances on the pitch and they can say, yeah, get rid of him, send him out on loan, do this, do that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. The fact that we'd have to cover his wages, first and foremost, or the majority, a major part of it. Let's say, I don't know, Galatasaray pay 50k a week added onto it. He's on £350,000 a week. So, in any stratosphere, does that make any sense whatsoever? Them going to us, right? So, you're going to pay £300,000 still. We're going to pay, you know, 10% of it. We get the player, and then you have less depth. And technically, he is United starting midfielder at the moment, whichever way people want to look at it. Obviously, had an absolute howler against Liverpool, but looked okay. It looked like he was starting to come back into form, but still has that recklessness and wildness. But even still, it doesn't matter whatever way you look at it. Ugarte's just coming, right? You saw when Ten Hag was being asked about Ugarte, he was saying it's going to take a couple of weeks, maybe even months, to get up to speed and to be fully integrated into the squad and starting games week in, week out in the Premier League, Carabao, FA, and Europa League. It is just going to take a little bit of time for him to climatise to it because, yes, he's been playing with Uruguay at the Copa America, but he's only been training really with PSG, so he hasn't really got that match fitness. And now, again, he's away. Just as he comes in, there's an international break. We didn't register him in time, so he couldn't make the Liverpool bench. So then he goes away again, and then he comes back, and then it's postponed, and then there's more time. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's going to take a bit to integrate him into the squad, and that's not even guaranteed that he's going to be amazing. We all think he's going to be a good profile, that he fits what we need, but it's not nailed on, is it, that he's going to be great? So doing the move like this, they're not going to do it. I can tell you for a fact they're not going to do it. The club are not even interested in it. But if we're speaking hypothetically, if they even was to try and do a move like this, it would be the most naive thing ever, especially after the season you've just had, by the way, with the amount of injuries. Now, people can say what they want about CASEMIRO. He's still a player. He's still our only player who can play that defensive midfield role, or at least knows what it is and has been elite in that position. Again, you can caveat that with he's not been fantastic for us. I understand it. But does this not scream to people that it's just utter nonsense? It's crap. United will not do it. They will not do it. And maybe CASEMIRO's up for it. Maybe he's looked at Fred move on to Turkey, and Amrabat's gone to Turkey as well, hasn't he? Maybe he does want to follow suit in that respect. But CASEMIRO's a competitive guy as well. I remember when he first signed for the club. And the game, was it after Brentford, I think? He messaged either John Murtaugh or he messaged someone at the club saying, I will solve these issues and I'll fix these problems. And to be fairness to him, it took him a while to get up to speed, but first season he was amazing. Last season he was an absolute disaster. But I don't care. I've been one of the fans who's criticised him the most recently over the past couple of weeks, and you know how wild and reckless he is. I still wouldn't get rid of him just so Galatasaray can have a player and strengthen them and then pay his wages. It just, you know, it doesn't make sense, does it? Does anyone disagree in the chat? Please do let me know, because I really don't see it. As soon as I saw the story, it got reported or leaked out, I think, initially from, I can't remember who it was. It was like quite a small outlet, so I didn't really take any notice of it. But then Rob Dawson is putting it out, and I'm like, oh, right, okay, should we cover it? Should we talk about it? I'm telling you now, it's bullshit. He will not move to Galatasaray on loan, 100%. If he does, I'll shave my head on a live or something. Really don't see it. So, yeah, I had to kind of put that out there. As soon as I saw that news, I was like, I'm going to have to go get them. Give me the microphone and let me cook. All right, this is the most stupidest thing that United could do right now. That's from Elite Baller. Casemiro and Ugarte could play together and makes us much more solid. Kid Jr. says, shocking. Sean saying there's no way we will let Casemiro leave on loan. Yep, no chance. Sean saying Nick waiting on that booty call. No, actually, if I'm being transparent, my girlfriend's in surgery right now. So, yeah, that's why I'm saying if I get a phone call, I'm gone. Yeah, Elite, I would love to see Casa and Ugarte together. Mainu needs a rest, a poor lad. Yeah, a lot of... we spoken about Graham Souness, speaks about Kobbie Mainu, didn't we? And there is a media thing at the moment. I mean, I've just seen Talk Sport are starting their own United fan channel or something. And I'm like... in this space at the moment, you know, we're quite close with the lads at Stretford Paddock, you know, with Jay especially, even that the producers behind the thing we speak to quite regular. And they obviously came from initially, they was in like a, like a media company, and then they've taken it onto their own. So the power's gone back to the fans and the power's gone back to the people, and we put out authentic, organic content, I would say. This is what this channel is all about. And I'd like to look at us as like the little cousin to Stretford Paddock or brother or whatever you want to call it, like authentic, genuine people who love United. The fact that TalkSport are now dipping their toe in it, you're seeing Sky doing it and all these other things, because they see where the views are at, they see where the conversations are at, where the genuine kind of interest is. And now that you've seen TalkSport, that's the last kind of media company I wanted to get hold of a fan channel and start their own. So anyway, I've got off on a tangent. I don't even know why I said that. But yeah, because Graham Souness was criticising Kobbie Mainu. You have to excuse me, guy. I literally had about 4 hours sleep. So if I'm rambling or if I go off in different directions, just tell me and I'll shut the fuck up. But TalkSport and Graham Souness talking about Kobbie Mainu, saying United are overhyping him. He's not the player we all think he is. He's da and all this nonsense. Look, Mainu, as good as he is, every kid who's playing football makes mistakes, you know. I know Casemiro got grilled for his and Mainu not as much. Every kid makes mistakes. Garnacho hasn't started the season amazingly, has he? He's been subpar. These are 19-year-old kids. Because they set the world alight last season, especially Mainu, there's expectation put on him. And I don't think it's fair, to be honest with you. A 19-year-old kid should be allowed to grow and shouldn't even be playing as many minutes as he should be doing, because he's undeniable and he's that talented. We've given it him. But look, even if Mainu has a slight dip this season, he'll still be a fantastic player, because the levels he's shown last season was like close to world class. I don't even think that's an argument. So yeah, take the pressure off Mainu, man, and protect him as much as we can. Random guy saying, as much as we're disappointed in Casemiro, we can't let go of him. We need the depth. Am I lagging? Why am I lagging? Why am I lagging? What's going on there? I'm just seeing. I was just watching the stream now. Sorry, people. What the fuck? Is that better? Sorry. Hopefully that's okay. Apologies. If it dips again, I'll just keep it. Honestly, everything's all over the place at the moment. What was I reading out? Random guy. Sorry. As much as we are disappointed in Casemiro, we can't let go of him. We need the depth, and we will have many games this season. Agreed. Casemiro's first season, he was the most important player. Second season, every player was bad, more or less. I think he was the worst of the bunch, though, wasn't he? Sorry, I'm trying to get through as many comments. My brain is not working at the moment. Punch Paint, big up Real Reds Talk. Good morning from Boston. What time is it in Boston, Punch? Just out of curiosity, let us know. Am I the only person here who was never into Tupac and Biggie? Was more into a tribe called Quest, People Under the Stairs, Dilated Pupils, Mos Def, Talib, Gangster. Yeah, look, Tupac I've always been a huge fan of. The other ones, I'm not that deep into hip-hop and rap, to be honest with you. I'm more Eminem, Tupac, the obvious ones. I have to be. I like Nas, and I like, others like that. So the paper nonsense happens after the window too. Good to know. That's from Alex. Exactly, mate. Yeah. I don't think anyone in reality was really reading these reports and saying like, oh yeah, I can't believe he's leaving. This is... I would be absolutely astonished. Genuinely. I really, really would. Now, when we speak of Casemiro, I promised it was going to be a quick show today, so I apologise. But when we speak of Casemiro, we speak about the way we're setting up at the moment. We have a system where it's, and Liverpool set up in a similar way actually on Sunday, where it's like a 4-2-4, right? We have the 4 attackers. We have, let's say, Bruno and Xerxes as your main 2, like who are kind of trying to cut off passing lanes. And you have the wingers as well who are pushing up in Rashford and Garnacho. And then that leaves kind of Mainu and Casemiro as the 2 behind, so a box almost, which we're trying to trap them off with. And that press has been working relatively well. Liverpool saw holes in that press and they played around us. Likewise with Brighton. On the ball and off the ball, there were systematic issues. And sometimes people may say with Mainu and Casemiro, it was their fault why they lost the ball. I think positioning is everything in formation, and it is key. And you look at their positioning, the more you watch them goals back, even, Casemiro, when he's playing the pass, Mainu's not even really looking at him. I think he could stand off a little bit to receive, but there are systematic issues. So I think there needs to be tweaks, and there's plenty more depth in that. But to be honest with you, I haven't got the time to go really deep into it. I saw a picture. Let's see if I can get it on screen, if I've got enough thing here. Of basically, someone put it on and was like, what do we think about this? Different kind of setup. Now, let me kind of preempt this with the fact that Ten Hag will never, ever, ever, ever do this because he's so stubborn. He'll never change his tactics. We know this, being United fans. It's gone on for years. But just as a hypothesis and something to discuss to put out there, where's it gone? Sorry, this one here. So this was a team I saw got put out. I'll put it over this side just because it's aesthetically better. So I was thinking a back 5, right? You've got Onana, Mazraoui, Yoro, of course, when he comes back, he's still injured at the moment. Mateus De Ligt, Lisandro Martinez, and Diego Dalot. Kobe and Ugarte in the middle. You've got enough progression there with Kobe and enough work rate with Ugarte. And then Ahmad, Xerxes, and Rashford. Ahmad can always, tuck in if needs be, or, stay out wide. Likewise with Marcus Rashford, so you've got that pacing behind. Or throw Garnacho in there if needs be, if you want. And even Højlund can come into the system. But just looking at that, I think it gives you more midfield control with better defensively. Mazraoui and Dalot, obviously Shaw would be in that as well, I would say. But Mazraoui and Dalot are very, very good going forward, especially Mazraoui. So if he's got that license to go forward even more than he is in a back 4 system, I think he could be deadly. Leacher as well, out of the 3 at centre-back who can step into midfield, it'll be Leacher, but his natural positioning will still be as a centre-back. But he is good at being aggressive and stepping forward and dictating plays. Obviously fantastic on the ball. So that will aid progression through the lines as well, with Mainu in there alongside Ugarte. And I know a lot of people turn their nose up at back 5s and they're not a fan of it and they say it's boring and it's Southgate ball or whatever and blah, blah, blah. But listen, with back 5s, Italy won a Euros with it. Jose Mourinho won a treble with it. Chelsea won the Champions League under Tuchel. That was 3 years ago, by the way. So I don't sniff my nose up at it. If you deploy the system correctly, it can be used really, really well. If it's not, then it looks daft and it looks super defensive. But if you can utilise your wing backs, and I think it's much more solid defensively. We have an issue. We have an issue with scoring goals first and foremost, but we also have a huge issue, conceding goals. We've conceded as many goals as some of the teams near the bottom of the table. So I think you're more resolute with that. I think it offers you flexibility as well. When you do go to a back 5, you can pivot in so many different formations. And I think it suits a lot of the players as well. But let me know if you think I'm chatting shit or not. People having a chat about Ghostface and Cypress Hills. Nick, we are a couple of injuries away from a crisis. Casemiro cannot leave. People are going about Smashing Pumpkins, Korn, Deftones, Slipknot. A lot of musical taste in there. Not a fan of the formation. That's from Random Guy. Absolutely. I get it. Some people aren't fans of it. And that's why I'm saying I think the back five in general seems to not rub people the wrong way, but I understand people are a minority with it. But let's be honest, right? Let me offer you this, at least. Would you not like to see something different than what we are doing right now? Just something. Anything at all would be nice to pivot from this chaotic, long ball, deep line nonsense that's going on. Even if it's not a back five, you know, go back to a double pivot that you did in the first season, where they're much closer to each other. Owen Hargreaves did some fantastic analysis, and I did mention this on the show yesterday, but I want to kind of repeat it because I actually think Owen Hargreaves is an underrated pundit, to be fair. And he was talking about, like, Casemiro and these players alongside him. When he had Kroos and Modric, they was deeper, but they were so good at progressing the ball. They was the one who's controlled that, and Casemiro would just be the one sweeping up. He said, people expect too much of midfielders nowadays. That was the line. Now, that can be kind of misconstrued in many ways. But what effectively what he was saying was, you need a 6 ruler to sweep up, clean up, take the ball off the back four, simple pass, and you know, get the interceptions in and volume of tackles, which is Ugarte is definitely going to do. Now, when you have players like Kevin De Bruyne, let's say in front of you, for example, or Bruno Fernandes, if you can sweep up and give them the ball 10 more times in a game, what's the likelihood that they're going to go and create more chances and create goals and assists, you know? So when you put it like that, I understand, like, because people talk about, do they want a regista? Do they want a deep line playmaker? Do they want a destroyer? Do they want this? And everyone's looking for a hybrid, and everyone's looking for a certain player, which I get. But if Ugarte can put the volume out in that midfield, be a destroyer, take the ball to the back four, he's not bad on the ball. He's okay. He can, you know, he keeps it simple. You won't have as many progressive passes, but you'll have a lot more stability and a shield in front of him. And someone who's putting out fires left, right, and centre, which then unlocks Manu and unlocks Bruno in front of him to then go and play their game. And it has an effect on the rest of the team then. That's what he was saying. And I think Owen Hargreaves was absolutely spot on in his analysis, to be fair. And I like him as a pundit. Was more into deep house and alternative rock, but liked underground hip hop. When it comes to music, sorry, this conversation's going sideways for anyone who's tuning in, expecting like full-on analysis. For anyone with music, I love everything. So I grew up, my brother, obviously all you guys know, and Sam, listens to like heavy rock, metal, alternate stuff, and other things as well, but predominantly like Slipknot and those kind of things. And my sister, who listens to like Clubland and Eminem and all that kind of stuff. So I've got a mixture of there, and then I developed my own kind of taste. So when it comes to music, my playlist can go from fucking Michael Jackson to Killswitch Engage to Dave. Do you know what I mean? I listen to so many different things just to put my opinion and my taste out there. That's the best way to be, innit? You don't just want to listen to one strand of music. Like, what are we, boring? No offense to anyone in the chat. So, yeah, look, I get it's not everyone's cup of tea. That back five, I understand it. But just a thought, just something I wanted to discuss. That's what football's all about, innit? Opinions and such. But it's quite a little bit quiet on the United front. It's weird when especially when you've got a channel. When it's international break, it's quiet, isn't it? It's just like, because the transfer window's closed now. We've gone from relentless transfer news every day from mid-June till September. It's like, what do you do now? So the idea is, I mean, I mentioned this to you guys anyway, and I always have to say I appreciate the support. You tune in regardless, whatever the story is, whatever the show is that we're doing. But we've lined some guests up, 3 or 4 guests for the next 2 weeks, so that should be good. We've got some interactive shows planned. I think we've got a big panel on Thursday night. So a lot of the lads are coming back on the show, which is good. I always love doing that because it just offers a variety of opinions. And yeah, there's a couple of more things in the work in terms of certain shows that we're working on. Obviously, we have our regular ones like transfer shows, breaking news, pros and cons, match reviews, watch-alongs. But then there's a couple of other things that we want to integrate as well, like things on social media. So we're working on it. But it's been a mad busy couple of days, a couple of weeks, I would say. Like, things going on in mine and Sam's kind of space in a minute with, honestly, it's, yeah, been a bit mad crazy. But I had to get a show out there for you guys today. I know it's only short. I know it's only 20 minutes, but I have to put something out in it. You know what I mean? I don't want to leave you hanging, so I appreciate you tuning in. I used to smoke weed every day for about 20 years. That's about all I'll touch and hardly have it these days. McMillan was a deep house DJ back in the youth. Too many mind-altering substances at nightclubs. Now I'm totally sober. I always love hearing the stories from you guys anyway. But yeah, sorry it's short. You know, guys, I usually go 40, 50 minutes, 60 minutes at least. That's what she said. But yeah, it's I'm going to have to rush off. I appreciate every single one of you. Enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll be back at 7 and we'll make it an hour long, yeah? Just to make it up to you. So yeah, don't work too hard.